What happened?
There was a presidential election.
True.
I was going through this very intense high in my life. I had fallen kind of ass backwards into this TV show thing and was doing well. And while all that was going on, my family and we were in year 10 of my brother Adam's fight with a brain tumor. And oddly enough, I had an interview today and they asked me about it. I just said, I would trade it for anything to have him here. But looking back on it now, I'm thankful for that a little piece of perspective, I guess, to get to see the forest for the trees a little bit and realize that, I'm in LA and I'm on this TV show, but ultimately it's just absurd theater and it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Kind of allowed me to focus on the task at hand, which was trying to win, or whatever the hell that was. So I get off the show, and it's immediately just, you're off. So you're in Idol tour rehearsals so that you can sell Pop-Tarts for 3 months. I'm no longer contractually obligated to sell Pop-Tarts, by the way, but they are still very delicious. So I'm doing all that while making a record. And so that summer was busy. Any off day was kind of filled with flying somewhere to record or sitting down for a writing session somewhere. Get done with the tour, and it's immediately time to finish the record, put the single out, put the record out. Before you know it, it's the end of 2008, and it's time to go on the road to support said record. And I'm booked for a year. No, it's great. I mean, I'm 26 years old. And for the first time in my life, I'm getting to do exactly what I wanted to do. I was in a band and I was touring and going all over the place. Another life high. And then in the middle of it, May 3rd. Thank you. May 3rd, 2009, my brother passed away. And at 26 years old, with all the resources in the world at my disposal, I did for myself the exact wrong thing. I kept going. I didn't stop and take, mental stock. I didn't take a break to take care of myself. I paid for it. We finished that tour. I rescheduled one show for my brother's funeral. And then, then that was business as usual. And I get off the road finally, and it's time to write another record, and I'm excited. Until I start writing songs. And they're terrible. They're really dark and just not where I want to be, and I don't know how to get out of it. So over the course of 7, 8, 9 months, I'm just writing, and I'm getting frustrated because I'm not in the studio yet. I feel like I've got some songs, even though now I know I didn't have any songs. And as we get further down into the process, we're 86, 87 songs deep on this record, and nothing's working. And just fighting uphill for everything, and emotionally I'm a mess. I'm lashing out at people. I'm miserable, and then it gets exacerbated because why the hell am I miserable? I'm making a major label record. I just toured for a year. What the hell do I have to be sad about? And I sit down in a room one day with two really good friends of mine to this day, guys that were in my band at the time, a guy named Neil Tiemann and a guy named Andy Skibb. Woo! They deserve more applause than that. You'll understand. So I had known Andy and Neil long before Idol. I lived in their dining room right out of college when I didn't have a job. So they knew me on the other end of the spectrum. Somebody's keeping tempo on this story. So we sit down at my house, and Andy sits down at a piano and starts kind of playing this piano chord progression, and immediately I felt more comfortable than I'd felt in a long time, and I felt like I could finally open up a little bit more. And about 30, 45 minutes later, we had this song that I think in the moment felt like a hurdle that I'd gotten over, and I couldn't figure out why. I just felt like this song's important. So we recorded and we put it on the record. You know, rest is history, I guess. Then years go by and you start to get a little bit of perspective, a little time away from things, and I started realizing that this song saved my life. And the reason it did is because I had people in the room that loved me and gave of themselves in that moment. And the lesson that I've pulled from that as I've gotten further away from it is that ultimately we have no idea what we mean to somebody. Whether a stranger, a best friend, and anything in between, you have no idea. And so I humbly ask everybody in this audience, as you leave tonight and go back to real life, a kind word, a handshake, a hug can save somebody's day, can save somebody's week, can save somebody's life. And in a climate where it just seems so much like, thank you. You didn't realize you were getting preached to tonight, did you?
Amen.
Yeah.
Preach on.
It used to be a church.
About to say.
In a current climate where it seems like it's always us versus them.
Yeah.
It's red team versus blue team. It's black and white. Man, there's a ton of gray in the middle. So give love. See what happens. This is Goodbye to the Girl. Paint another picture black and blue. Take another moment, one or two, just to get over you. lazy. It's not gonna save me from holding my breath till the lines blur. 'Cause I got nowhere to hide and say my goodbye to the girl and goodbye to the world. Oh, goodbye to the world.
Thank you very much.